Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. With special thanks to our pals at ADT Taxis, Feed Me, Piglet's Pantry, Tiger, Leicester Garage Conversions, Pink Vehicle Leasing, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Moyer Wade Interiors, and our chosen charity, Memphis UK. We bring you the fans' views on the match each week, and your views matter to us. Join the fans debate each match with us. Follow us at Leicester Fan TV.
Good evening to me. Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. If you're watching this live, it's 7:30. It's Monday night. My name's Phil. Join us every week, Mondays at this time, and you can join the debate. We can have a good old gossip. It's just me and you guys tonight. So what do you want to talk about? Loads of transfer rumours going around about Leicester City. Forget last week's rumours. There's a whole new bunch to go through this week. So I want your views and your comments on all these different transfer views and news. If you're watching this on playback on YouTube, enjoy the debate, enjoy the comments, and join us live every week because we can really get those comments in. Auntie Karen is watching. Good evening. She's not my real auntie, but that's just what we call her. Maz is watching. Good evening. Matty Bond. Matty, what do you reckon to some of these rumours? I know some people hate the rumours. I think, Matty, you're one of them who doesn't like them. But anyway, that's what we're here to talk about. Brian says, good evening. David, good evening to you. Alesso, hello. Gareth, good evening. Listen, I'm not going to stick around too long tonight because we all want to settle down and watch the Belgian boys tonight. Franny, good evening. Mark, good evening. Jamie and Sean, how are you? Loads of hellos. Thank you. Keep all your hellos coming in. Who do you want to talk about first today? We want your views. We want your comments about all these different rumours. Now, let's start with I want your views on this guy. Patson Daka looks set for City. Apparently, that is the rumour. It's pretty much going to be a done deal from RB Slazburg, a 22-year-old striker. He scored 54 goals in about, I'm looking at my notes, 87 appearances. What do you reckon to him? £23 million. Now, the reason we're apparently in for him is partly because we're not going to get Edouard from Celtic. Apparently, because it's Brendan Rodgers, they have put the price up on Edouard. So we're not, by the looks of it, going to be getting him because he's too expensive. So what are your views? What are your comments on that? Get as many in there. Matty says it's tabloid bullshit most of the time. Some of it comes true, Matty, and that's what we're here to have a chat about. Matthias says, I really hope we get a deal done this week. Brian is saying, this is about Patson Daka. This is what we're hearing. He is just waiting on medical. David saying data is good, quick and sharp. Looking forward to seeing him. What do you reckon? I mean, he's been playing in the Austrian, I think it's the Bundesliga, isn't it, out there, the Austrian Bundesliga. What sort of level is that? I'm not going to be too critical because we've took players, obviously, plenty of players come in from some European lower or not so tough leagues, and people have done well. Karen, we will talk about this. The rumour of Danny Ward leaving. I can understand his frustration at being on the bench every week. Danny Ward is definitely one of the gossips that is happening, and where there's talk that, like Karen says there, of it being Wolves interested in him. If you're Danny Ward and you're having a good Euro Championships and people have been raving about him, is it a thing that he may well go? Surely he'd want to play first team football. And he's a good keeper. What do you reckon to Danny Ward going? That is one of the things that I wanted to talk. I know we're going to jump around today, but you just talk about what you want to talk about. Get your views in, get your comments in. Do you want to talk about Danny Ward? Chris is saying, I think he's talking about Danny Ward's just signed a new contract. Well, yeah, but I'll tell you what, that doesn't mean too much. Ross saying, until it's on the LCFC website, we haven't signed anyone. I know, Ross, it's a gossip. It's a rumour. It's like we're down the pub, Ross. We're having a chit-chat. We're having a pint. Karen says, sick of hearing all the rumours. Just buy someone to make it final? Well, I am hearing that the Dakar one is very, very close. I'm also hearing that Soumare is a deal that is done as well. Let's get him up there. Soumare is 22-year-old. He's played for France at under 21 level. He's a box-to-box midfielder. Plays for Ligue 1 or French La Ligue 1 title winners Lille with 84 appearances. I hear that is going to happen in about 10 days' time. What do you reckon to Soumare signing? What are your views on him? Joel is saying he's talking about Dakar. He says he prefers him to Edouard. Do you know, I think I probably do, actually, Joel. So I'm with you on that. Andy Young is saying our bench is better than Wolves. Well, you know, if you were Danny Ward, Andy, what would you rather do? Would you rather be on Leicester's bench? I believe I'm right in saying Danny Ward made 2 appearances for Leicester last season. I haven't checked those stats, but that's what I think he has done. 2 appearances for Leicester City. He's going to make more appearances for Wolves in the Euro Championships than he did for Leicester City. And everybody's raving about how good he is. I tell you what, listen, I'm a Leicester City fan, just like you are. But if I was a football player, would I rather be a keeper on the bench for Leicester City or playing first-team football for Wolves? I'd rather be playing first-team football. I really would. So, as a Leicester fan, I want us to keep Danny Ward. So I'm really keen to get what your views are. Dean saying, when are we officially going to sign anyone? Well, Dean, hopefully this week, but we'll see. Mick saying, Coutinho, get him signed. That's gone incredibly quiet, Mick. Has anybody heard any more? I'm hearing nothing on that. It was the big chit-chat last Monday night, but it feels like he's gone there. Aggie, you see, Aggie's on to something here. I agree with you, Aggie. Danny Ward will never be number 1 while Kasper Schmeichel is here. We all know that, but Danny Ward probably knows that. So if somebody, Aggie, like Wolves came in and offered him a half-decent contract with half-decent pay and said, you're going to be our number 1, where would that leave Leicester? Because I think I'm right in saying Jakubovic is our training keeper now. So it would leave us looking for another keeper, which isn't easy to sign a second keeper. Like Aggie said, you got Kasper Schmeichel. He is going to be number 1. Let's not mess around with that. There was a comment here about Ryan Christie. Yeah, Karen says here, Ryan Christie from Celtic, is this because we can't get Edouard? Yeah, I think Ryan Christie is a different type of player, isn't he, Karen? I've heard a little bit about that. And Jamie's asking here about Ryan Bertram. It's all gone quiet over there, Jamie. No chit-chat on that. And that was looking like it was going to be a good one. Chris is saying, do we think some of the transfers will all kick in and be confirmed once Euros is over? I don't know. It's a funny one because obviously the Euros finish, about mid-July, don't they? And the new season, I think at Leicester's first pre-season friendly at the moment is about July the 24th, is it? Away at Burton Albion. So very, very quickly we're into pre-season. It's very congested. So certainly is going to be a quick turnaround after the Euros. Steve, Coutinho's wages too rich for us. You're probably right, Steve, to be fair. He probably would upset the apple cart. Patricio is leaving Wolves, says Jack. So, Jack, what do you reckon to the Danny Ward rumours? Let us know what your views are. Schmeichel still has a few years left, says Prakesh. Ward can't spend his prime years on our bench. Probably best to cash in with his Euro performances. It's all right for some people. I mean, Conrad Logan, bless him, was at Leicester keeper for, 13, 14 years, one of the longest serving players, but played just a handful of games, 30 games, Prakash. And to be fair, Danny Ward's on schedule to do that, but Danny Ward's an international keeper for a team like Wales. He's too good to be on our bench, really, isn't he? I really do think that. He is too good. Won't he be just on Wolves' bench, Portugal keeper number 1? No, I think if he went to Wolves, he would be made number 1, to be fair. Scott saying Daka would be a great buy over Edouard. Soumare is great. Bertrand's gone silent. Yeah, I agree. Bertrand has gone absolutely silent. Be nice to get a couple of confirmations, says Scott. Scott then goes on to say about Schmeichel's a great number 1, but his distribution is awful. I know there's quite a few of you are not happy with Kasper's distribution at times. He's not going to change. I think Kasper's, somebody put in the comments, because I can't check the stats, how old is Kasper? I think he's coming into his real prime at the moment, but I think Kasper, he's not going to change on that distribution. It's sometimes when he gets it right, his distribution is amazing. So I think that's in there. Ross says he would take Isaac from Sweden. I'd take. He's a future star. Lucky in the look of him. Ross, that's a great point. Who have you spotted in the Euros where you go, I fancy that? And I'm not just talking about they've got great legs or whatever. I'm talking about they're a great player. I mean, they might have great legs as well. Whatever you're into. William, thank you. As ever, Will's come back with a great 34. That's Kasper Schmeichel. For me, a keeper, just that is absolutely prime time for a keeper because they've still got agility, but they've got it all up here. That's where keepers need it. They need it all up there. Keeper comes into their best around 32 to 37, 38. I mean, keepers can go on. Think of Buffon, even Schiltz, people like that. They can go on for a long time. Neil saying play Ward in the Europa League and the Cup games. Do you know why that won't happen, Neil? Because Kasper wants to play in every game. And I don't blame him. If you're a footballer, like Will's just put, he's 34. Kasper Schmeichel will want to play in every game possible. And I think it's up to Danny Ward. If somebody comes in for him, Prakash is saying, yeah, Kasper, and so's Karen. Thank you. Joel as well for your comments. I really appreciate that. Sidon is agreeing there, saying that Danny Ward should start all the Cup and Europa League games. Again, come on, somebody tell me the stats. How many games did Danny Ward start for Leicester last season? It wasn't many. I'm gambling on 2 games. That's it for Danny Ward. If anybody can Google it and tell me, put it in the comments, let me know. Mark, I agree with your comment there. Robin Guzans does look good. Again, he's at the Euros, isn't he? But it's gone quiet on what will happen in there. Scott's making me laugh. In the Euros, I reckon we get Harry Kane for a tenner if we judge on the Euros. Listen, Scott, I remember Harry Kane at Leicester on loan. He didn't look all that at Leicester. Obviously, he's gone on to do good things, but for some of it, there's rumours that the Harry Kane not playing so well for England is because it's in the middle of negotiations with him moving to Man City. So it can upset people. Listen, who did I want to talk to you about? Well, yeah, here's one for you before we get too carried away. James Maddison. What are these rumours about Madders? So the rumours for Madders are that he is being linked with Arsenal for £60 million, but with them not wanting to pay £60 million because they can't afford £60 million. So the rumour is that they would give us Joe Willock in return with some money. Now, I know some of you are a little bit split on Madders at the moment, especially after his COVID party, and he's not had the best second half to the season, but people were raving over Madders at the start of the season. I'm not sure if Madders raves the most about Madders or if it's actually match of the day rave over him sometimes, or us fans get carried away some days. But what do you reckon to Madders? I almost wouldn't be surprised if he fancied going to somewhere like Arsenal, because I almost imagine with Madders, bless him, that he'd like the limelight of London and it's Arsenal. And yet you sort of look and you go, well, if I'm being honest, who's got more chance of winning some trophies next season? Is it Leicester or is it Arsenal? And I'm not just saying it because I like to wear the blue shirt of Leicester. I actually think Leicester have got more chance next season of doing something decent than Arsenal. But I don't know. Come on. I'm sure we've got lots and lots of views on Madders. Plus, tell me, what do you know about this Joe Willock? I know he was on loan at Newcastle at the end of last season. I think he scored a goal in every game, the last 7 games, something like that. 7 goals, 7 games. But I think it was 1 goal every game. He's meant to be quite an exciting young prospect. But I would say if he's that good, why do Arsenal want to shift him on in exchange for Madders? So get us your views on Madders. Mark saying I'm saying nothing. Mark, I can just hear you now. Yeah. You want him to stay, Mark? Okay, that's fine. Absolutely fine. Lee saying I'd like him to go. I knew there'd be a few of you. See, somebody in the Facebook group is saying why would Madders go there? I agree. Why would you want to go Arsenal and leave Leicester? But bright lights, London, and it's Arsenal. Scott says Maddison is on form, is too good to seek. End of season, he didn't get back to form following injury. I reckon next year his head will be back. I think that's fair comments from Scott. I think that is absolutely good. James is giving us a bit on Joe Willock. He had a great second half of the season at Newcastle. He did, James, but why? Why, if he's a good young prospect, do Arsenal want to chuck him in there? Andy's saying Madders can go. His heart's not at Leicester. Andy, absolutely, that is your opinion, and I think you're absolutely fine to think that. Fee, good evening, Fee says let him go. James is saying not fussed if Maddison goes. If I'm honest, from your comments just there tonight, there's not many of you as yet saying Madders must stay. Let me know what you think. Come on, one or two of you watching must be Madders must stay. I want to hear from those as well. Thanks, Tom, saying Maddison is our most creative player when on form. Why on earth would you want to sell? I know, Tom. I know, and I hear you. I know there will be lots like that. Ross is saying, with Madders going, the opportunity for Dewsbury Hall in that role as well as Tielemans. Yeah, Dewsbury Hall's an interesting one, isn't he, Ross? Is he going to come and make it at Leicester? There's a lot of... I think he's quite an exciting young talent. I just wonder if we're going to have time to develop him or not. It's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? There with Kieran Dewsbury Hall. Get Willock as backup, says Jay. Sidon says, in big caps, Madders must stay. We can't let him go. Sidon is definitely a Madders fan then. Scooby Baz, hi Scooby, saying Madders got to stay, just need to calm down. But been many big-time players slipped too. I agree. We should only sell if it's a pants-down fee, if Arsenal can't match it, jog on. Well, they're talking about 60 million, but that 60 million not being in cash. They're going to put, apparently, rumours are Joe Willock in with some cash because they haven't got 60 million quid Arsenal at the moment. So that's what it would be, which I don't think that is pants down. Jono, what do you reckon? I don't think that's a pants down offer. I know Maguire for 85 million was pants down. So I know what you mean. Matty says, if Maddison goes, we need a creative player. Still miss Mahrez in that depot. Do you know what, Matty? Listen, I'm going to chuck this out there. If Madders goes, I actually think we're okay in that central, because Madders likes to play that central midfield role. I think Youri Tielemans is better there, to be fair, and I think he works better with Dennis Pratt. There's been a little bit of chit chat that Dennis Pratt's gonna not stay around at Leicester, but I'd like to see Dennis Pratt and Tielemans out. And yes, you need backup. You've got Perez who can drop in there, and I don't know. That's slightly what I think. I think the Mahrez question we've tried under, and that didn't work. I do think we do need an exciting winger as well. It would be nice, but I don't think Maddison's an exciting winger. Chucking it out there, could Jamie Vardy be our exciting winger next season? Seemed to be doing rather well out on the wing, not scoring the goals, but actually Jamie Vardy is a flying winger. It's almost like a reverse Thierry Henry, where you take a winger and turn him into a striker. Could you turn a striker and turn him into a winger? Because I tell you what, Jamie Vardy looked pretty decent coming in from that wing. Prakash says, I think Matt Mahrez is available. A few Man City players, including him, are annoyed at lack of game time there. He will not come back to Leicester, trust me. We need to know someone who knows how to take corners. Or Brighton can, but never gets a chance, says Mick. Yeah, corners has definitely been an issue for that. Just think where Gaza would have been if he had looked after, not saying Madders is in that class, but look after young ones from inside the club. Too much money now for these young guns. Yeah, it is a problem. There is a tremendous amount of... we all know that. We all know that, Scooby. There's too much money in football. There is too much money in it. You're a multi-millionaire before you're 21. If you've been in the academies and that and you look half good, honestly. Mick saying, wish we would sell Perez. What do you reckon to Mick's comments? Do you agree with Mick? I'm a bit jury's out with Perez. I've got two of my sons. One's a Perez hater and one's a Perez lover. And I'm in the middle. I'm like, yeah, he does all right some days. Not that good other days. I'm absolutely on the fence with Perez. So what do you think? What do you think? Ian saying Vardy's not got the legs to track back all game, so therefore my idea of him being a winger is no good. All right, Ian, I'll go for that. Jono says, no, Phil. No. I'd go, no, yes. Phil, he says, Vardy down the middle. This Daka fella looks like he can come off the right, though. Yeah, he looks decent. That's Daka. Patson Daka from RB Salzburg. Keep getting your comments in. I tell you what, here's another. Listen, I'm chucking some stuff in the air for you today to chat about. Liverpool interested in Youri Tielemans. None of us want that, but let's have your views on that. Liverpool coming in for Youri. That's a rumour. We don't want it, but I want to know what your views are on that. Chucking that in there. I'm chucking a few out here. That's definitely one I've heard. Liverpool in for Youri. Here's another one I've heard. You're not going to like this one either. Cags. Yeah, Cags being interested and linked with Chelsea. None of us want that. I don't think Cags had a particularly good... I don't think Cags had a particularly good Euros. Turkey had a stinker. Turkey had a turkey, if you ask me. But Cags is linked with Chelsea. Probably been chatting with... Well, he's probably not been chatting with Ben Chilwell, who's in isolation tonight. I don't know if you've heard that. So Chilwell and Mason Mount will not be around the England game tomorrow because of COVID. They've been linked with a Scottish player. Can't remember who. Because it's Scotland and are not that fussed. Keep getting your views in. Keep getting your comments in. Harry says we're going to have a five-a-side team next season. Yes, I'm up for a five-a-side team. So get comments in on that, Harry. Message me and we'll sort one out. Stuart saying 100 million for Tielemans and take it. I mean, that's John O'Towers talked about one of you pants down one. That would be a pants down one, but we wouldn't want it. Justa says Youri cannot leave. That would be absolutely awful. I agree. We don't want that. Youri is our man, says Karen. If you had to say... What a great question, James. Brilliant. James is doing my job for us, and I want you to answer this. You're not going to like it, maybe, but if you had to sell one of Maddison or Youri, who would you pick? So come on, put in the comments. James has put the question out there. I'll read out some of your comments, and then I'll pick mine at the end. Who would you sell if you had to? Youri or Maddison? I tell you what, James, I actually hope we don't have to sell either of them. I hope we keep them all. But it's a question James has asked. I want to know who you would do in there. Get your views in, get your comments in. Most links are just rumours. Maddison has been linked in every window since we bought him. I think Tielemans will stay as well. Not quite signed that new contract, Rob. That's the thing with Youri Tielemans. He's still got two years left on it, I think, but got a little bit more in. Mick saying, I've heard Man U are coming in for Cags. I hope they've got plenty of money. That would be nice. Asander says 300 million for Youri. I think you're getting carried away there. But I hear what you're saying. Cags didn't have a good end of the season, says Karen, which was a shame. They were linked with Billy Gilmore from Scotland. Thank you. That's talking about Mason Mount and Ben Chilwell, who are on COVID quarantine because of Billy Gilmore, I think. Cags didn't have a brilliant end to the season, and he didn't have a brilliant Euros in my books. I don't want to slag him off, but I just don't think he looked all that good for Turkey this season. Aggie is saying you'd get rid of Maddison and keep Youri. Ian is saying Maddison, Youri is level above. I think I would agree with you just at the moment. Harry's talking about Wolves wanting Danny Ward. Yes, we've mentioned that. I wouldn't be surprised, Harry, if he did want to go to play regular first-team Premier League football. Scooby's saying Youri because, to me, if that happened, he will be the most price tag, but neither will happen. Alfred's saying he'd get rid of Madders. Jono is desperate for Youri to stay. Maddison hasn't improved much and can be replaced. We'd get more pounds for Madders also. You think you... Well, that's the second question, Jono. Who do you think's worth more? In reality, who do you think will get the bigger price tag? I don't even want to ask that, actually. Scrap that, because I don't want to be saying this isn't a selling show, because James Moore is right. He's asked the question, but then he says, I hope we keep everyone too. So let's hope we keep everybody too. Madison all day long says keep Tielemans. Andy says rumours are Burnley want Doris the tea lady. I know. Listen, it'd be Arsenal or Man City or Man United want to buy Leicester City's tea lady, I would think. Stuart is saying Danny will go after the Euros. He's having a really, really good tournament, and there's been a lot. You hear on the radio. I listen to Radio 5 a lot, and always about the Wales game, saying, "Oh, Danny Ward, great saves, played really well." And then you think, yeah, and then how can he have a great Euros and not then want to play first team football? Even if it was Championship level, I'd want to play. But if a Premier League side like Wolves is apparently interested in Danny Ward, surely he would be interested. Scooby's saying, would you start Ward for the first 3 games of the new season? It's not going to happen. Kasper Schmeichel will play. Kasper Schmeichel will play, won't he? Will saying he would sell Chowdhury. I wouldn't sell Chowdhury. I like Chowdhury. I think he's probably a really, really good squad player. Whether he's going to make it into the first team on a regular basis, I don't know. But I like Chowdhury. And he's a Leicester lad. So I want to keep the Leicester boys in there because they know what it means to play for Leicester. So I think having a few homegrown talents in there is always great. Yes, Rob saying, I hope we're steaming Barcelona's shop window up at the moment. We should definitely go back in for Trincao and Coutinho. Trincao we talked about last week, didn't we? We talked about him being a decent acquisition maybe. And also Coutinho, there's mixed bag on Coutinho, Rob, to be fair, because of his price tag. Well, not necessarily his price tag, but his wage packet. Is Magic Mendy still around? Yes. Yeah, we've still got Magic Mendy. He's still there, Jono. How can he play so good in Euros, but he can't play that well in the Premier League? Karen, you got to tell me who you're talking about. We could be talking about anybody there. So tell me, who are you talking about? And then we can answer that. Kasper is world class. I think he's certainly Euro class. He's certainly, for me, he's one of the best keepers in the Premier League. I think we're very lucky to have Kasper Schmeichel on many fronts, not just because he's a great keeper, but also because he is a darn good geezer, if you ask me. So Karen says, how can he play so good in Euros but can't play well in the Premier League? And then she says, it's Danny Ward. Well, he does play well in the Premier League, Karen. He just doesn't get given a game because we've got Kasper Schmeichel. So I think every time I've seen Danny Ward, I've actually thought he's a decent keeper. He is decent. I've seen him and thought he could be as good as Kasper. He might even be better. But if you don't play, you're not going to know. Liverpool tipped to sign Youri on Leicester Live. I tell you, that is honestly, it is something I've been seeing out there. I was reading, crikey, to get ready for these shows, trust me, I was reading the Liverpool Echo earlier today to get that. Obviously, it's full of Liverpool gossip, but one of their big gossips is that they want Youri Tielemans. It wasn't, so if it was on the Liverpool Echo earlier and it's just gone on Leicester Live, I've seen it myself earlier that the Liverpool media are reporting it. It's probably just gossip, but hey, again, if you're Youri Tielemans, you're going to look at somebody like Liverpool and go, could be tempted. Sandra says, who would you pick for captain next season? I think that's a great question. I don't think we can talk about that yet till we'll see who's in the team. Because I think, and again, let me know what you guys think, I think we need to sign a captain. I think that's the bit of the jigsaw we lack, if I'm honest. Kasper has been brilliant, but he's a keeper. And for me, not captain as a keeper. Wes has been fantastic, but doesn't play and has left us. So for me, I think we need to... And I know a load of you will chuck in the name, say, Johnny Evans, make Johnny Evans captain. I think Johnny Evans leads by example. And I know he does organise a lot of stuff. I'd just love to see a midfielder, a real proper midfielder captain come in. I need to think of who I would recommend. That's my chore for next Monday. I'm going to find you a midfield captain who's the right age, the right skill, available. If you can find one for next Monday, come back and say, Phil, this is your midfield general, your midfield captain. You know what? I thought Edouard might have been it a couple of years ago. I really like the look of Edouard, but he didn't quite blend in. And we've had, even Inler came and just didn't quite do it. Last one I thought was about there was perhaps Cambiasso. I really, really want to see somebody who's creates time on the ball. I definitely think it's an older player. Time on the ball, knowledge, been there, seen there and done it. Perhaps won big European trophies, Champions League. Yes, payday. I don't know what you guys think. That's one of the key players I think we haven't had in quite a few years. I'm talking midfield general, midfield captain. I think that it never seems to come up. Nobody says, oh, we need a striker, we need a winger, we need a this, we need a defender. Nobody ever seems to say we need a midfield general. That's what I think we need. Let me know if you can name any. If not, I'm going to go for it. Carl says the captain should be Youri, which again is a great call. He leads by example. He's not a general out there. Maybe he could be, Carl. Do you think he could do that? Justa says Youri has to be captain. Come on. Yeah, Karen. Yeah, it's my homework for next week. That is my homework. I'm going to go and find us a captain to sign. And I want you to find one as well. Guzans is a proper captain on the field, says Joel. I'll look into that. I've seen him play, obviously. Do you think he's captain material? That would be interesting. Captain Youri, says Justa. Stuart says, totally not dissing Casper at all, but we can't have a keeper as captain. I agree, Scooby. Exactly my point. I'm not dissing him. It just, for me, it doesn't work. Keepers are captains. You're at least 40 yards off the action, and half the time you're 60 or 70 yards. You can't. How do you have impact? You see Casper come out screaming. He just looks like he's screaming and yelping from the goalkeeping, from the penalty box. So I'm with you. I don't think he can do that. Which centre back do you think Leicester should sign? Tarkowski would be my answer to you on that. Hassan, we've been looking at him long enough. Jarrah says Leicester should go for Ramos if possible. Great player. It's not going to happen if you ask me. Jamie says Vardy captain. Jamie, why I think Vardy can't be captain? I think he does lead by example. He does get stuck in. I don't think he's going to be around every game next season. He is 35 next year. And again, still not a midfield general. I still want a midfield general. Imtiaz says maybe Ndidi. Again, you could be right. Maybe he could be captain material. I think he just goes about his business, Imtiaz. I don't see him scream. I don't see any of them. And that's why I say midfield general, because I don't see anybody out there. And there's been plenty of times over the last 2 years, and this is my thing, when we are 2-1 up against Spurs with 14 minutes to go, I don't see any player in the middle going, right, and physically and visually calming it down and telling people what to do. We go 2-2 against Spurs again. The team is just falling to bits. And who is that midfield general? I don't think it is Ndidi, Imtiaz. And when we go 3-2 down, there's games where you need the player to step in and command what is going. Elliot saying Casper is the skipper and only he can see the whole game. Yeah, but you're talking more like a manager there. He can see the game and he can see what's going on. But can he have an impact from the penalty box, Elliot? I don't think he can. But again, you're into there. Scooby, yeah, again, exactly. But when you used to watch Walshy as a captain, what was going on. You knew if we went 3-2 down at home against Spurs on the last day of the season, we really, really whimpered that last 10 minutes. And if Steve Walsh was in that team, there's no way we would have whimpered like that at the end. And it was a whimper. That last game against Spurs, for me, we whimpered. And we've done it a few times. And a Steve Walsh type character in there. I know it's old school, but I'm talking real leadership quality in the middle. And I think that's what we need. Listen, the Belgian game is about to start. It already probably has started. I've been chatting. You lot have been... Robert saying, Rob, how are you? Bob Sharman says, a big decision, Phil. Do I watch Youri v Finland or Casper keeping Russian at bay? It's got to be both, Bob. And we're late. I should be going. Go. Let's go and watch the game. I'm going to watch both of them because I think I'm interested. I think I'm going to watch the Belgian match. Let us know what in there. Yeah, Will says the game has changed. You quite well, Will. Steve Walsh, just midfield general. That's what I think we need. Please, as ever, thanks so much for all your views and all your comments. It's been absolutely brilliant having you all with me. Same time next Monday, please. Go and find me some players that we need to sign, especially midfield general. Come on, I want some real suggestions. I'm going to go and do my homework. I want you guys to do your homework. Jack is live at 8:30 on Wednesday night. Jamie, the Fox's Arms is open. Bloody hell, he's opened the Fox's Arms in Alcudia. Nobody can go on holiday there, but he's opened it. Do you know why? He just wants to sit and sup the beer. Jamie does, if you ask me. Of course, he doesn't. He's fed up with it all. So, if for any reason you are in Alcudia, go and see him. He should be live on Monday at 10 a.m. I think he is still live on Sunday at 10 a.m. And, of course, I'm back here next Monday at 7:30. Thanks to all these guys, ADT, Eat Me, Tiger, Moya Wade, Leicester Garage Conversions, Piglet's Pantries, the Fox's Arms, Pink Vehicle Leasing, Hologram, and our chosen charity is Memphis. Most of all, thanks every single one of you. Make sure you follow us at Leicester Fan TV on all channels and subscribe for free. Go and watch the Belgian game. Go and watch the Denmark game. Thanks for all your comments. I shall see you very, very soon. Cheers all.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. With special thanks to our pals at ADT Taxis, Feed Me, Piglet's Pantry, Tiger, Leicester Garage Conversions, Pink Vehicle Leasing, Hologram, the Fox's Arms, Moyer Wade Interiors, and our chosen charity, Memphis UK. We bring you the fans' views on the match each week, and your views matter to us. Join the fans debate each match with us. Follow us at Leicester Fan TV.